Okay, so continuing on, adding content in the page. Usually with any page, you're just going to kind of want to round it out, with a nice footer. I mean, most websites will have like something at the bottom with all their social media accounts or, a way to contact us. Or, business pages will have like the career page or something like that, the copyright disclaimer page, something that's at the bottom of every single page, in other words. So it's a good way to round things out, but I couldn't think of anything to put in this demo, so I just put like a little copyright link. Which could actually sometimes be, if there's a lot of content in the page, could actually be like a navigation bar at the bottom. I've seen that before. Or a different style of navigation bar, like just the same navigation bars, but in a different format down here as links. So you don't have to scroll back up to the top to go to them. Different formats have changed now, over the years. So it's really kind of up to how the client wants it or how you want it, basically. Whether you use image or just have phone numbers down here at the bottom. But usually it's a contact or a phone number. But it works the same way, basically. What I'll do is I will delete this one that I created. Delete these selectors over here so I don't get confused. So I have everything I was working on. I'm still in the live view. My design view is kind of scaling on me, so I'm kind of staying in my live view right now to kind of keep it what I'm looking at. So I make sure I'm after my main down here. I'm in my main body, and I just go to insert, and there's a footer up here, which is pretty handy. I'm not going to do a classic because I'm going to show you what's going to happen if I just add it in there. So I'm just adding this thing in here, and this footer basically is kind of just encompassing this entire thing because I haven't given it a class or anything yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and as it's selected, I'm going to add it in. Footer to the Monday style sheet. That's what I'm using. That's where everything's at. And it added it in over here to my selector. But you notice it's kind of like encompassing the whole page, basically. It's kind of hard to find it, so I needed to find some properties for it. It gave me my little tag down here where you can see the stuff, but I need to kind of go ahead and start giving it some properties. For one, I want it to span the whole 100%. So I'm going to make sure it's selected over here. And I'm going to give it a pixel height, in other words. I mean, this could change on how much content you actually put in your footer. Go 80. I'm going to rate this by pixels. Then one thing you can do now, see it's already sitting off the thing here. One thing you can do now is go ahead and start giving it a background color so you can kind of see it in there. So go to my background section. I'm going to make it match this image I have up here, or a color. So now you can actually see it. You may want to give it some margin between the content here, and that just depends on how much content you have. It's automatically going to place it after it, but if you want to make sure that there's always space between there, if you have your image running, see the way my image is running too close there, so I'm going to give it quite a bit of margin. Let me go 40. It's already starting to look kind of nice, where exactly a footer should go at the bottom. You can push it down further if the browser's not working out for you. But yeah, that's basically how to go down. I'll display that one, see what that looks like. Probably need to float it because it's just kind of floating in the middle still. Kind of tells me go back and float it either to the left. There we go. Yeah, that's what it needed. So now it's basically at the bottom. It's floating around right there in the middle. It's going to encompass its 80 something pixels up, and I can put whatever content. And this basically works the same way adding content in the main. You can put a paragraph in here if you want to, and pad it in. Put an image down here if you've got numerous social media site images. You could kind of load in them all kind of inline block, display them in an inline block, kind of align them if you want to in the center. For this right here, I'll just make a fake link basically, so I can go ahead and give it a class. So now add a new ID to this link. And I can give it properties now that will affect it differently. So for instance, the font color, I don't know why, usually your footers are kind of different. Different font style. What other stuff can we mess with here? The padding. You can center this thing. I don't believe the center will work for the division thing. Type it in there, Steve. Yep, yeah, it works. And then give it a margin, or I'm sorry, padding. You want to push it down kind of in the middle. That didn't really work for me earlier, so what I did is just kind of like affected all of these, and it kind of like pushed it down right there in the middle. So it gave padding on the left and right, the front and back, kind of centered everything. But like I said, this kind of works the same way as adding in the images and the paragraphs from the main content. It's just you're usually dealing with like a kind of a banner. And I'm not against putting in banners for a footer too, if you've got that. Preview this. There we go. Oh, I got my E right there, which it shouldn't be. So it gives me a link right there. It's at the bottom. Kind of works out. And I could add in more stuff up here, and it basically would just keep pushing that footer down. So the good thing is once you have this layout like this, and you want to start creating new pages to link these things to actually create these pages for their links and everything, what you can do is go ahead and save like page 2, like this is you can save this as, right now this is my index page. Start saving your about page. It can just be about.html. And I have the same exact page, and I could replace images, different text, different information. All my navigation stuff is going to work the same. You just got to go and relink all your like page 1 link. This is going to be neat. Now this needs to be, say, this home link here needs to be directing it to the actual about, or your about link basically would need to be um, change this link here to the actually about page, and then you have like linking pages, and we went over that to begin with. And then you can change information here and everything. And the good thing about it is the style sheet's going to start working for all these pages here. So okay, well yeah, well that's basically in a nutshell how do you create, just a simple layout page. Like I said in the beginning, we kind of looked at how the tables would kind of help lay this out, but it's simply just, division, insert, division, then create IDs within those divisions or in those main bodies, and then adjust padding and margins to fit that style. So um, you'll see like a lot of business pages kind of laid out like this nowadays still. A lot of it's scrolling stuff for like portfolio and stuff like that, which is great. But you can do that with this. So it's kind of up to you how you want to approach it and how much you want to put into it. And the sky's the limit with the style sheets. So, okay, well, yeah, I'll probably make one or two more videos showing how to upload this stuff. So, yeah, thanks for watching.